Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Well, we'll talk about the 11s, but I'll welcome Shaun Pollock first with not necessarily team news, but obviously when we talked about the toss, Shaun, we didn't see the big man, Rohit's mate, Kieron Pollard, walking out to toss. Instead, Nicholas Pooran, because he's a little bit under the weather. Will that be a big blow for the West Indies?
Yeah, I think it'd be huge. I mean, he's a fantastic player for them. I think he's got a real presence in that side, and he's a real character. So he likes to lead from the front. And you know, when you've got your captain who's so involved in all the tactics in it, there's no doubt that they will miss him. No surprise for me that they decide to bowl first. I think if there is any due that's going to present itself later on, that's obviously one of the factors. But more importantly, I think their batting has been so poor that they're actually unsure what a decent score is and what they could possibly post. So I think for them to have a target set, and then they can say to themselves, okay, we'll try and chase this down in a certain manner. Because I honestly believe if they bat first at the moment, they're not sure to how to structure it. We saw at the interview at the toss where he mentions that you know, they've got to bat the 50 overs, but that's the result. It's the process that I think is lacking in that side. The ability to put partnerships together, to play roles where one guy's batting through, other one's being aggressive, and try and fit into their natural game. So no surprise for me. I think it gives them their best chance of being able to win. Target that they have to set or are set, and try and chase that.
Yeah, well, Pollard did speak about it in the previous game. He mentioned that you know, the toss would be crucial, and since Shaun Pollock has already talked about the chinks in the armour, as it were, the West Indies batsmen, and today they'll be chasing, so I think it's worth delving a little bit deeper into that, because DK, it's one of those, they're a flamboyant side. T20 cricket was made for them. They're starting to find their way back in Test cricket with Craig Brathwaite and company, but in between they've got a few issues to address. And I say in between 50 over cricket.
No, I completely get it. I think, you know, of the three formats at this point of time, they're trying to find their feet in ODI cricket. They didn't have a great World Cup as well. They had a completely different set of players, different teams. So they would be obviously trying to figure out what is the best way moving forward in the ODI format. Also, the fact that they lost to Ireland, which must have been a bit of a body blow to them as well. So they are trying to figure out, and like Polly said, I think that was perfect. I think the batting is obviously not sure of itself. They're trying out various players. Obviously, if you see the previous, they had a Hetmeyer, they had Roston Chase, then they had Sheffield Rutherford. All these players missing out, some due to fitness issues, some due to form issues. So there's a lot of small issues there. And if you can see, you know, the top three averaging 30 and number 4 to 7 averaging 26, which basically gives you an idea, which says that they score a maximum of 194 runs up to the top 7 wickets that are going to fall, and that's never going to be good enough. If you're only able to score 200 and 220 these days, that's definitely not good enough for you to win a game of cricket.
I'm glad DK put that in perspective, because sometimes we can look at numbers and just let it pass by. Okay, average is 30. What should he be averaging? 33? Well, I think when you add up the numbers the way Dinesh Karthik just did, that tells you the kind of totals, because we are in an era of 300 plus totals. Maybe it was 250 a few years ago. That's changed. Shaun, you had a point of view on this as well in terms of the breakdown, but also the individual batsmen's averages.
Yeah, I think they are struggling. As DK mentions, they're trying to find personnel, aren't they? They really are trying to get that guy who can create some consistency. We mentioned it in the last game, and that's been the key. Where do you find your guys? You know, got Shai Hope, who's averaging 51, and Nicholas Pooran, you know, in 32 innings, he's averaging 41. Shamai Brooks, that's too early really to tell. Small sample size. Darren Bravo, 115 games. Pollard just averaging 26 and 113. Holder 25 and 121. It's not consistent enough. I mean, you just compare that to the Indian batting lineup and you have a look at the amount of games and the consistency. So in their top 4 or 5, you've often got guys who are averaging close to 50 or even more, and they are consistent. One of them normally comes to the party in the innings, and I think that's what's been missing for the West Indies. So that's, as I say, I think the game plan wise is also being found wanting. So I think the chase is better for them.